Spencer Dinwiddie has been a huge part of the Dallas Mavericks' success. Ever since acquiring him a few seasons back, Spencer has done nothing but produce for the Mavericks. And so far early on into the season this year, Dinwiddie's having the best season he's had with the Mavericks so far. But quickly, before we get the video started, for those of you who may not know, I'm Juicy Sports, I make opinionative NBA content, and if you guys enjoy videos similar to this, hit that subscribe button, that like button, and that post notification bell. I also want to quickly mention that I recently started up an MMA channel, and if you guys are interested in that, the link will be in the description. But anyways, let's get into it. Spencer Dinwiddie was seen as one of those guys that had some skills here and there, but didn't have the most potential going forward long term when he was getting into the NBA. Early on into his NBA career, he played some games in the NBA, but he did most of his damage in the G League. And in the G League, he was putting up pretty nice numbers, but overall, people and scouts, more importantly, didn't really see Dinwiddie as someone that would translate well to the NBA, or if he did make it to the NBA, he wouldn't be all that great. But after putting in a ton of hard work in the G League, Dinwiddie finally got his first NBA opportunity with the Brooklyn Nets in 2016. And during that season, he produced, I would say. He didn't play the best, he didn't play the worst, but he was certainly showing something. That season, he averaged 7 points per game on 44% shooting from the field, 2.8 rebounds on 3.1 assists. And basically what Dinwiddie was showing that season is he had a nice ability to score for himself in certain stretches, wasn't the most consistent, but he definitely showed the capability to do so. And there was a potential for him to be more consistent as time went on, and he worked on his game more and more, but he also had a decent understanding of the NBA game and had a decent passing and playmaking ability. And after that 2016 season, during that 2017 season, Dinwiddie played a lot more games, playing 80 games from 60 the previous year, and also he saw his minutes per game jump as well, from 22 to 28. And that season, Dinwiddie's numbers across the board increased. He averaged 12 points per game on 38% shooting from the field, 3.2 rebounds on 6.5 assists. And at that point during 2017, the Nets knew they had something with him. He was seen as a pretty good bench player, a guy that could score for himself, create for others, and basically he's exactly what you want coming off your bench. But the great thing about Dinwiddie is he didn't stop there. He just continued to improve his game season after season until the 2019 season. He had his breakout year and the best year of his career so far. During that 2019 season, Dinwiddie averaged 20 points per game on 41% shooting from the field, 3.5 rebounds on 6.8 assists. Just incredible numbers. And especially considering where he came from, a guy who was mostly in the G League and a guy who most people didn't think had all that much potential going forward, to see him average 20 plus points in the league was really a great accomplishment. But that season, Dinwiddie proved that all the hard work that he put into his game really turned himself into a legitimate scorer. He had a nice ability to score from that three-point range with crossover into a three-point jump shot, sidestep, step back, of course had the capability to catch and shoot from that three-point range, also had a tremendous mid-range game with a post turnaround fadeaway, one dribble pull-up, crossover, sidestep, step back, catch and shoot, also had a really nice ability driving all the way to the basket by finishing around players with crafty layups, either his left or right hand, finishing through contact with and one finishes, putting up nice floaters in the lane. And overall, in terms of his scoring ability, Dinwiddie really turned himself into a legitimate 3-level scorer. Now, in terms of his passing and playmaking ability, I would say his basketball IQ certainly increased over the years, and at that point he was a pretty good passer. He did a really nice job at running the pick and roll and pick and pop offense specifically, but also he just did a really nice job at calming everyone down, running crisp offensive sets, and just being a true point guard out there. But unfortunately, after that 2019 season, during 2020, he went down with a significant injury. And after that, his time with the Brooklyn Nets was over. He moved on to the Washington Wizards for a season, and then moved on to his current team, which is the Dallas Mavericks. And so far, in the 2 years that he's played so far, he's playing very, very well. And in my opinion, this season he's playing some of the best basketball of his career. This season so far, he's averaging 16 points per game on 46% shooting from the field, 3 rebounds on 5.2 assists. Now, obviously he's not averaging as much as he did during the 2019 season, but he's also not getting as much of an opportunity. And he's also playing next to a guy in Luka Doncic. Now, he's getting a ton of minutes out there, but when you play with Luka, you're not going to have the opportunity to score 25 plus a night, even if you have the capability to do so. And in my opinion, I think Dinwiddie is playing a much more winning style of basketball now than he was playing like in 2019 with the Brooklyn Nets. So actually, I think Dinwiddie is playing better this season than he did in 2019, and I think he's just a more valuable player overall. This season, Dinwiddie is doing a really nice job at scoring for himself when his team needs it, but also he's doing a really nice job at spacing the court out effectively for Luka Doncic and also facilitating for others when Luka's not on the court. Specifically, him and Christian Wood in that pick and pop or pick and roll offense has been very, very good so far for the Mavericks. And in my opinion, the success that the Mavs have had over the past couple seasons and in the playoffs as well have certainly had a lot to do with Spencer Dinwiddie's play. Now, when you look at the Mavericks record on the season, they have a 24-21 record, which I would say is decent, but in my opinion, they are a better team than this, especially when you consider the fact that they have Luka Doncic on their team and they also have a decent amount of help around him. In my opinion, I think they're just working a couple things out, and as the season does progress, they're only going to get better. And I think Spencer Dinwiddie personally is also only going to get better as the season does progress, as he gets more and more confident with his newer teammates. And once the Mavs start to get rolling, I think it's going to be very difficult to stop them. And especially once it comes down to the playoffs, I do think they're probably going to be playing some of the best basketball that they're going to be playing for this season. But now the question is, why do I think Spencer Dinwiddie is so valuable to this Mavericks team? The first and main reason is his scoring ability. Now, obviously the Mavs already have Luka Doncic on their roster, and he has a capability to put up 30, 35 plus a night if he wants to. He's just incredible. But there are going to be some occasions where Luka's not on the court. So having another guy like Dinwiddie that is very, very talented at scoring for himself is obviously going to be very valuable to the Mavs. But another reason for why I think Dinwiddie is so important to this Mavs team is also when Luka isn't out there on the court, you have an extra guy that can pass and play make for all the other players on the roster and just make everybody else's lives easier out there. And even when Luka is on the court, just having that extra guy that can both score but also facilitate is going to be extremely valuable and has proven to be such thus far. And I think the value that Dinwiddie brings to this Mavericks roster is only going to accelerate once it comes down to the playoffs. Every possession is extremely important in the regular season, but especially once it comes down to the playoffs, it's that much more important. So having multiple guys that can both score but also facilitate out there is obviously going to be extremely important. So Dinwiddie is going to become that much more important once it comes down to playoff time. And also, even besides those individual skills that Dinwiddie does possess, he has proven the ability to play at a very high level in the playoffs in the past. He actually hit a game winner for the Mavericks last season in the playoffs, and overall he just had a lot of good moments over the years in the playoffs. But overall, I really do see Spencer Dinwiddie as a very valuable player to this Mavs roster. So it's going to be very interesting to see where the Mavs go forward from here and if they improve as the season does progress, and once it comes down to playoff time, if they're able to have a lot of success. But anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you think Spencer Dinwiddie is a huge part of what the Mavs do, or do you not think so? But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did enjoy, check one of these two videos popping up now. And until the next time, peace out, guys.